you don't like me?
No, I think you're really, really nasty to pensioners. My view, Tommy, is like I worked for 50 years.
Pat.
I paid in.
You did.
I scrimped and scraped. I bought my own house.
Thank you.
And now I'm being penalised. I don't need the fuel allowance.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people that do. And then when you see people coming in the country, and in my opinion, Tom, I'm not saying it's true, in my opinion, they're economic migrants, most of them. They're taking out. They're draining everything in this country. And every time one comes in, it's taking something away from us. And that's how I feel. And I know you don't. You're the complete opposite to me.
Well, Pat, just...
And I think charity begins at home. Sorry.
No, okay. Let's start with the pensioners' point first, because I can see how that may have come across to you. And I apologise for that, Pat, because that is absolutely not my intention. My intention is not to withdraw from you your state pension. My intention is not to say that you shouldn't be in receipt of the winter fuel allowance if you need it. What I do think, though, is rich people should not be given free money. Do you agree?
I agree with that, Tom. I agree. But can I just say this, Tom? I bought my house. Yes, it's gained in value. I've probably got a house worth about 900,000, right? Okay. Now, if I sell that house, Tom, tomorrow, right, where do I go? If I buy a house in my area, because my son and my grandchildren are here and I have to look after them, it will cost me $500,000 to buy a flat. Yep. And then you've got about £400 or £500 a month service charges in Brentwood.
Right.
Right? So, and it will probably cost me $40,000 to move.
I get it. Downsizing is really tough. It happens to a lot of people. I totally understand.
Yeah.
But Pat, I don't think that means that we're both wrong in thinking that it is crazy to give free money to already wealthy people. So
depends what you call wealthy, though,
I agree.
Tom. What do you call wealthy?
I agree. I think, and that's the debate, isn't it? The debate for Labour is who is considered wealthy enough not to need the winter fuel allowance. I
think Starmer just doesn't like pensioners either. They would prefer us all to die and not cost anything. But
no,
that's
not true.
Everyone's going to get old, Tom,
that's not true.
Everyone's going to get old.
Pat, he doesn't hate pensioners.
He does.
He's trying to, in theory, take money from already very wealthy pensioners and make sure that there is money there for poor pensioners.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what do you call very wealthy, Tom? Tell me that.
Well, I think if you sit on an asset worth more than, or if you have assets of more than £1 million, you're wealthy.
Yeah, but see, there again, Tom, if you look at the country as a whole, I could buy a mansion up north for the money you pay. In the southeast, we pay 10 times more than up north.
Yes, I agree.
It's like council tax. You know, we pay a fortune council not because we think, I want a $900,000 house. We don't. We have to pay a lot. I mean, my house is $50,000, but that was a hell of a lot of money in those days.
I agree with you. I understand that.
You know?
But lots of people make the decision about how to downsize, and I still don't think that therefore means the price of your house. Therefore means that taxpayers now, some of whom cannot afford a house, won't be able to afford a house until perhaps their mid-40s, if that. Should have to pay for
to me, Tom,
the fuel bill.
Their fault.
That's their fault.
Yeah.
It's their fault that house prices are so high.
When I worked in an office up London, when I started work, my wages was about £20 a week.
Why is it a young person's fault that house prices are so high?
Because most young people today, they want holidays, they want to keep drinking coffee all day, and I'm not being nasty.
Well, you are.
Right? They don't want to sit in and save up like I did for 4 solid years.
But Pat,
they want everything. And
wages,
also, most of them are on $30,000 minimum.
Yes, true.
Right. And I paid 15% interest on my mortgage.
Yes.
Today, they get 2.5%.
Yes, but the starting price of a house to get is now 8 times higher than the average salary. It was nowhere near that in your day.
Not other places in the country. Why don't they move somewhere where it's cheaper then?
Okay, well, I'll put that to you. Why don't you move somewhere that's cheaper?
Because my son's here now, my grandchildren.
I know, but
he
young
needs me
people
to
would
look
say
after
that too. Their
them,
jobs
because they both have to work full time.
Listen, Pat, we're going to agree to disagree on this one.
I know.
but I'm really grateful to you for having the chat, because it's much better to talk it out on the radio. I'm sorry I've prevented you from having your dinner. I hope it's still warm.
That's all right.
Go and enjoy it.
It's in the oven. I will.
Pat, thank you very much indeed. We'll speak again, yeah?
Yes,
Lovely.
hopefully,
all right.
yes.
Thanks, Pat. Nigel's in Temple Fortune. You want to talk about asylum, Nigel?
Good evening. Well, I'm sorry to say that I think that Pat owned you in that last conversation. It's very, very fruitful indeed.
Good.
In relation to asylum, I think it's the biggest hot potato, and I call it actually legal immigration. It's not asylum. If you come to this country without documents, you come here illegally, you're an illegal immigrant. If you come here lawfully, you can claim asylum when you come here as a tourist or in business.
Well, how would you? I guess if you had the documentation and you claimed asylum, would you consider that to be legal?
Well, no, because if you're coming here hang on a second. I think you have to separate one thing, which I think you seem to forget. If you come through a port of entry as an alien, like I do, because we also have a place in the States, then I present my documents, I'm allowed in.
Yep.
If you don't, you aren't.
I know, but
as simple as that.
Well, these are clearly clandestine methods to get into the country, aren't there? There aren't many border patrol people.
I think you're missing the point. First of all, when people come here illegally, they're illegal. And it's costing us £8 million a day. What could you do with £8 million a day if you were the Chancellor to spend it better on? Hospitals, doctors, schools? The way to stop illegal immigration is simple. Don't give anybody any benefits when they come here. Look, my wife has a very senior role in social services. She deals with the most grimmest of stories. And she also has to deal with a lot of people who come here illegally. And she said to try and check antecedents of people when they say they come from certain countries and they don't come from certain countries and give different dates of birth. It's impossible.